There are a few films that challenge the way you see cinema. Birdman is one of those rare films. It doesn't ease you in, it doesn't hold your hand, it throws you straight into the chaos of a man's mind and refuses to let you breathe until the credits roll. And that's exactly why it works. On the surface, Birdman is about Regan Thompson, a washed up Hollywood actor once famous for playing a superhero, desperately trying to prove his relevance by staging a Broadway play. But that's just a skeleton. What the film is really about is ego, identity, relevance, validation, and the quiet terror of realizing the world might no longer care about you. And every single creative decision in this film exists to serve that idea. Let's start with the most obvious and also the most impressive thing about Birdman. The entire movie appears to be one continuous shot. No visible cuts, no breaks, no relief. This isn't just a technical flex, it's psychological warfare. By making the film feel like one long, uninterrupted take, the audience is trapped inside Regan's head. There's no scene change to reset your emotions, no fade black to give you comfort. Everything bleeds into everything else, just like anxiety does. It creates urgency, it creates momentum, it creates suffocation. You feel the ticking clock of opening night, you feel the mounting pressure, you feel the sense that if Regan stops moving for even 1 second, everything will collapse. And that's exactly how his mind works. The camera follows him through narrow hallways, dressing rooms, rooftops, streets, never letting him escape, never letting you escape. The film moves like a nervous thought that refuses to slow down. This isn't a gimmick, it's storytelling at its purest. A film like this completely falls apart if the performances aren't flawless. Doesn't just have good performances, it has dangerously honest ones. Michael Keaton as Egan Thompson is nothing short of extraordinary. There's an added meta layer here that makes his performance even more powerful. Keaton himself was once Batman, a massive superhero icon. Casting him as an actor haunted by a superhero role isn't clever, it's brutal. And he doesn't play Regan as a victim. He plays him as insecure, arrogant, desperate, petty, passionate, delusional, sometimes all at once. You don't always like him, but you understand him. You can feel how badly he wants to be taken seriously. You can feel his fear of becoming irrelevant. You can feel his rage at critics who reduce art to numbers and headlines. Edward Norton is phenomenal as Mike Shiner, the embodiment of artistic ego. A man who's pure about art, yet completely insufferable as a human being. He's brilliant and exhausting in equal measure. Emma Stone delivers one of her most raw performances as Regan's daughter. Her monologue about him being invisible, not relevant enough to be hated, not important enough to be loved, is one of the most quietly devastating moments in modern cinema. No one feels like a character, they feel like people you met, or worse, people you recognize in yourself. One of Birdman's sharpest weapons is its self awareness. The movie isn't subtle about its disdain for empty spectacle. It openly mocks superhero films, franchise obsessions, and the way pop culture devours depth in favor of noise. But here's the genius part, it's not pretentious about it. The film doesn't say superhero movies are bad, it says mindless consumption is dangerous. Reagan isn't wrong for playing Birdman. He's broken because that's all people remember him for. The voice of Birdman in his head represents everything loud, commercial, and shallow, constantly whispering that relevance only comes from explosions, fame, and validation. And then there's the criticism angle. The theater critic who admits she plans to destroy Reagan's play before even seeing it is one of the most honest critiques of modern criticism ever put on screen. It's not about quality, it's not about narrative, clicks, reputation, power. Birdman understands that artists today aren't just fighting to make something good, they're fighting algorithms, headlines, and preconceived opinions. And that frustration bleeds into every frame of the film. Visually, Birdman is hypnotic. The camera isn't just observing, it's participating. It floats, stalks, hovers, spirals. It mirrors Regan's mental state, calm when he's calm, chaotic when he's unraveling. The backstage of the theater becomes a maze, tight, sweaty, claustrophobic. The city outside feels cold and indifferent. The rooftop scenes feel like moments of fleeting freedom. And then there's the jazz score, unpredictable, raw, constantly shifting, reinforcing the idea that this entire film exists on the edge of collapse. Everything feels alive, nothing feels staged. One of the most debated aspects of Birdman is its ending. Did Reagan fly? Did he fall? Did he finally let go? The answer is simple. It doesn't matter. Because Birdman isn't interested in literal truth. It's interested in emotional truth. The film blurs the line between reality and delusion because that's how ego works. When validation becomes your oxygen, reality bends around it. Regan doesn't need to win, he needs peace. And whether that peace comes from acceptance, madness, or transcendence is left entirely up to the viewer. The ambiguity is confidence. Birdman isn't a comfort film. It's loud, it's chaotic, it's arrogant, it's vulnerable. And that's why it lasts. It speaks to artists, creatives, introverts, performers, and anyone who's ever felt the quiet panic of being forgotten. It understands the world obsession with relevance and asks a terrifying question. Who are you when the applause stops? Very few films dare to ask that. Even fewer answer it honestly. That's why Birdman isn't just a great movie, it's a masterpiece.